a TGIF. Oh, it's TGIF. 'Cause it's Friday. 'Cause it's Friday in the Friday. Everybody gotta think about how it's Friday. Oh my God, it's Friday. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. Oh, I'm on the loading screen. Oh, I had my eyes closed because the passion that I had was burning so strong for the song. What's up, everybody? It's Friday. I feel like I'm like way far from the camera today. Which isn't, it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing that I've ever been a parent of. Right? What's going on here? Hold on a second. I got a little thing going on over here on the other screen. What's that? What is it doing? Who is your daddy and what does it do? Oh, there we go. That was my problem. I guess I had to click on it and then it works. What? Good to be here, everybody. It's Friday. I got to give everybody a heads up right out the gate here. I got to be quick on the mute button over here because I'm coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and about to die. I got another cold. I got another cold from my lovely daughter, the micro baby extraordinaire. And it is, boy howdy, been a lingering. And yes, as you guys know, ooh, I wonder if I still have that on here. I might still have, let's see. Do I have it? No, I seem to have lost. The file. It's probably in one of the other scenes. But I've also been making a ton of plant racks for the old Aquarium co-op. And I think cutting and drilling and melting all the holes for those plant racks, I think, has also agitated that situation. Cutting it that much ABS all the time, whoo, buddy. And I've been wearing my mask, but I think I'm going to start wearing my my respirator. I have like a particulate mask that I normally wear. I use that a lot. But I think I'm going to switch over to start using my chemical respirator because I think that is that's causing its own problem. You know what I'm saying? Now, we always gotta address the elephant in the room. We got an elephant in the room, and that is the room itself. I've made some changes in the office here for some of the final countdown. I'm trying to get everything rounded out down here in the office. I basically had like a 4-hour window that I got to move all of the furniture around down here, a bunch of the lights, the cameras, the wires, part of the ceiling. I had to take the ceiling down and drill into the rafters up there and do some other stuff. But I got a lot of it done. And as you can see, I'm facing a different direction now. Like I used to look that way. I don't look that way anymore. Now I look this way. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. It's just I'm making it more and more accessible for multiple people to be in here. I've got the other computer. Going in. That's going to be happening very, very soon, so that I have the visitor computer, I guess, the extra computer for visitors. When they are here, they can type into the chat. They can pull things up, and that kind of stuff. Because I do have plans that this will eventually be a show that has multiple people on it and stuff, you know? So, hold on, I got to hit the mute button. Like I said, I'm pretty much dying from whatever congestion this is I got going on. I am going So I took some medicine earlier. It seemed to help for a little bit, and then it's just kind of right back to where I was before. So kind of a drag, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, it definitely is just one of those goofy situations. I got another cold, and it's really the coughing is just next level at this point. So it's kind of one of those just weird deals that I keep getting sick, and a lot of it has to do with having a daughter here that goes to hang around other people's sick babies. So it's it's just a fact of life these days with having a kid, and yeah, jeez. I didn't realize how bad this would be. I don't know if we'll be able to have a long show today. I don't think it will be that long. Fisheye on Tactics with a $2 super chat. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Who was first to the chat today? Guppy Guru? I think so. I think it was Guppy Guru was first to the chat. 54 Punchy, Bentley Pascal, Michael Sarr, Phil Emerson. Yeah, now it's getting confusing to read all the names, so I'm just going to scroll back to the bottom. But yeah. So, a little bit goofy, but we do have the Patreon posts today. I know it's confusing to people that are just on YouTube. They're like, what's Patreon? I don't know. It's a third-party hosted website. Check it out if you get a chance. It's how we fund being able to make YouTube videos, do shows, do all this stuff constantly. And, by the way, I know that there's some people out there that are always like, oh, man, people be bitching about money on the internet. And it's like, well, first of all, it's a commercial for the show that we're doing right now. So that was the 30-second ad read. And it being the beginning of the year, I literally went through and started out some of the getting ready for the tax season, because I do own my own business and stuff, and I do have to file all my own taxes and all that, and I do have an accountant that helps me with it, because it is more effective to pay an accountant than to have me do it. So, yeah. And I realized that I managed to work all year last year and save $1,000 towards potentially retiring, which is exciting, you guys, until you start to do the math and realize that's about $80 a month and pretty much $20 a week, and that's not that great. Like, oh, crap. Because, hey, a year of me being 39 years old, I'm almost 40, guys. A year of me being 39 years old isn't that big of a deal. It's not that big of a financial burden, but if 20-something years from now, I'm like, hey, I don't need to go climb a ladder and be at a construction site, that money's going to not really be there. So, yeah, I spend all of my money to make YouTube videos, and boy, howdy, does it ever show. They're so good. They're so good. It's just like people's minds are blown. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, my God, it's so good. Oh. Phil Emerson with the doopy doop doop boop boop doopy doop boop boop la 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 la. I think I read it. I think I read the sheet music that he posted up there. I think I got it right. I don't know. Jason Thomas finally caught a live. Hi from the UK. Hey, that's why I do this earlier show on Fridays. I started doing the earlier show on Fridays, and I realized, I started getting, messages from people in France, in Germany, in the UK, in other countries that escape my mind right now, like Finland, Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands, Hungary, Austria. Started getting a lot of messages from people in Europe. I guess it's easier to say Europe, right? Got a lot of messages from people in Europe that were like, hey, I can actually be here on Friday if you do the show early. And I'm like, hey, cool. Let's do an earlier show. And then a bunch of Americans got mad because they're like, you changed the time and I can't watch the show now. And then you got to watch the show later. And they're like, oh, I'm super mad. I don't want to watch the show later. And I'm like, I don't know what to do for you. I don't know how to make everybody happy. I don't know how to do that. It's not something that is in my wheelhouse. I don't know how to make everybody happy. I'm not Kim Kardashian. Sorry, I don't know how to make everybody $1 billion. I don't know how to do it. I wish I did. I would have done it a long time ago if that was the case. If I knew how to pull that nonsense off, I would have done it 20 years ago. Because I was an adult 20 years ago. And I'm an adult now. I'm not seeing a lot of green names in the chat, but I do see Guppy Guru, Big D Smoke. They got the green names. That's always good. We've got a $5 super chat from the Zombie Drummer. Says, switch to an unlimited data so I don't have to miss any shows. Yes! I have to say that's one of my favorite things that has ever happened when cell phones went to available unlimited data plans. I signed up for that in a hot minute. I was just like, yeah, I don't want to ever think about how much data I'm using on my phone. I don't ever want to think about that. I'm so old, I remember when you had a certain amount of text messages that you could send. They would be like, you, sir, only have 350 text messages in which you will not be charged extra for. If you go over 350, you will be charged per every text message. And I think you got charged for the ones you received, too, which I don't even know how a customer could be. How could a customer even be responsible for who is texting them, right? 54 Punchy says, or click that join button, because we are trying to get to 100 join members. When we get to 100 join members, I'm going to start doing some extra shows, guys. I'm going to start doing some members-only shows when we get to 100 members. We are at 76 members now. We went down, then we went up, then we went down, then we went back up again, which is good. But we're still short. I feel like I just made the bar of like, if we get to 100 members, I'm going to start doing member stuff. If not, it shall wait. And then we'll have enough motivated 100 members, right? I don't know. I don't know why. It's an irrelevant number, I guess. But it was a number that I came up with in my head, and I feel like I should stick to it. What happened to my mute button? I was going to... It's a good thing I muted that because I coughed so hard that I farted. And that would be embarrassing. If people had known that I just coughed so hard that I farted, I tooted. It wasn't a big fart. It was just a little toot. I try to bring a little joy to your 2020 here, you guys. I try to bring a little joy to the 2020 because the political situation that is happening right now, I read that first headline last night, and if you want to know, I literally started crying. The United States going to war and attacking other countries, and I started crying because I don't know what has happened. I don't know how we got here, and I am not in favor of it. I'm not a fan of it. I don't care. You can't convince me. It's not going to happen. I would love to have a conversation with some people about it at some point in time, but today's not the day because I'm hyper emotional about it right now. And if you're not, I don't want to talk to you because I think it would, it's probably time for, if you're not that upset about it, then you probably need to go spend some quality time doing some knowledge gathering. I would put it that way, It's very sombering, and if y'all, I often find that most people that are in favor of that kind of nonsense going on are people that have never been involved in any of it. They've never had anything like that happen to them. They've never been around it. All they ever do is just see it on TV, and then they're like all American pride, and it's ridiculous. And it makes me sad. Makes me really sad. And if it doesn't make you sad, then I don't know what's going on with you. All right. So, after side railing myself there, let's go over to this. Let's just look at the pretty plants for a minute, guys. Pretty plants for a second. Pretty plants, pretty plants. Let's focus. Focus. Let me find my window that has the Patreon in it. I don't know what happened. I lost my... Is it scene 1 or scene 6? It might be scene 6, you guys. Sometimes there's goofy stuff. Well, there's scene 1. Scene 1, Alyssa Bentley's not here today, guys. So I will play scene 1 for a second because we have to take a moment of silence for Alyssa, who is completely fine and healthy and in Hawaii. So, you know, she's not here for the show. You know, we couldn't fundraise enough money to convince her to not go to Hawaii. I don't even know what that dollar amount is. I would have tried to bribe her to make her stay, but we weren't even close. We weren't even close. So, you know. And anyhow, she looks like she's having a fantastic time in Hawaii. If you are on the Patreon, you would have the Discord link, and you would know. Because she keeps posting pictures of wild chickens and stuff like that. Because that's Hawaii, bros. If you've never been to Hawaii, wild chickens, blue water, beautiful weather, beautiful people. I love Hawaii. Shout out to Hawaii. Yeah, I know. That's controversial. Wait, what happened? Okay. I guess we'll go with scene 1 then. All right. And pop back over here to scene 1, and we'll just add a window. We'll go to add source. We go to smart selection. There we go. That's the button I need. And let's just go like this. I'm going to make it big today. No, that's not what she said. Jokes. All jokes aside, here is our Patreon post of the day. I'm gonna put it right here in the middle because once again, the Osmo action. By the way, I'm gonna let me resize this. Yeah, I like it like that. Oh, we gotta put the shrimp back up in the front. Oh, yeah. Where's the shrimp? I don't remember the file name for the shrimp. What's the shrimp called? Oh, shrimp vector. Oh, man, that's confusing. All right, there we go. All right. Oh, man, we're good. Big D Smoke has never been to Hawaii. I've been there about 3 times or so, or 5 times, or who knows. A bunch of times. Lots of times. So many times, it's unbelievable. You can't even count it anymore. So many times, it'll blow my my mind, your mind, everyone's mind, right? And it was a blast. It's a blast every time I'm there. Every time I'm there, it's so nice. This post is from Jake D663. If you haven't seen him in the chat, boy howdy, he's around. Bloom Hatch Aquatics is in the chat. Just popped in, and heads up, that is our newest member. Last time I checked. To hit the old join button. Let me get my membership page open over here. Ooh, my YouTube is set to MD Fish Tanks. Shout out to MD Fish Tanks. Love that guy's channel. Check him out if you ever get a chance. I like his content. I like his YouTubing content. It is quite good. And I find it to be entertaining. Right? Memberships is the word I'm looking for. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yep. The newest is Bloom Hatch Aquatics. Yeah. So now we know. I got to finish up my Friday. Thanks for the content. I'll watch the rest later. Happy weekend. Well, thanks, Guppy Guru. Appreciate it. I see Rumbust in the chat. What's up, my brother? You are on the community post today. He said he didn't have time to show up for the show because he's too busy, and then he's at the show. So I appreciate it because I did the early show. So people like Rumbus could show up. Oh, there's Jake D. I see him in the chat right there. He says, here still working. Not usual, But with the start of the year, they gave me over 30 pools to clean today, so I'm still busting through it. But thanks for keeping me company. That's actually good news. I think that's good news. He's got a whole bunch of good pool cleaning work to do. That's dope. I'd sign up for that. I wonder how much pool cleaning pays these days. Did I just call? Oh, incoming. Thank you for calling the show, caller.
Oh my God.
Thank you for calling the show today. We have lovely Vicky Toria on the show today. Coming in. You got a traffic report for us out there? How is it on the I-5?
Well, it's not raining, so people aren't driving like maniacs, but it is Friday, so it's fair to middling out here.
Vicky Toria says it's bumper to bumper, it's chrome to chrome. Get out there and turn on your radio and listen to some oldies because the traffic's terrible. I bet the traffic's probably not bad up there at all. Are you calling? Why are you calling, babe?
Oh, I was calling in regards to your text message, but I'll just talk to you when I get home later on.
Oh, I'll talk to you later.
All right, love you.
Love you too. Sorry, there's a whole bunch of messages on my phone for some reason. Whoop. Oh, well, I hung up on Vicky. Sorry, guys. Well, that is our weather and traffic correspondent, Vicky Toria. She called in to let us know that roads still exist and the weather is not raining. Ah! So that's pretty good, right? We got a $5 super chat from my man, your man, the Fish Tank Barn, who's lurking and plumbering. Shout out, Mike. I love you, brother. Have a good time. Thank you, brother. Have a good time plumbing. I wish I was doing some plumbing and making some cash. Why not? Why not? Today would be a good day for that, right? It's not raining. Salary but near $40K in Dallas-Fort Worth. Ooh. Man, you make a $40K in Dallas-Fort Worth? That's not bad. That's not a bad deal. That's not bad. Preston posted in the chat, though, $59 from Phoenix to Seattle, I think. Yeah, Phoenix to Seattle, $59. Well, those are those really weird flights. But I do for sure 100% want to get down to Preston John's Fish Room. It's a matter of just trying to schedule it and make that stuff work. Really trying to do Interzoo this year. That's going to be a big deal for me and my family. Hopefully Vicky Toria is going to be able to come along to that. That's kind of the plan right now. Let me see what's going on with hold on. Corey from Aquarium Co-op is giving me a shout out. Sorry guys, I had to text Corey back. It's Corey from Aquarium Co-op. I don't know why my dog's going crazy upstairs, but hopefully we don't get murdered because I don't have my rifles over there. All right, anyhow, back to what we were doing. Okay, what were we doing? Jake D663 sent this in. Let's see what's going on here. First post and a happy birthday to me, sort of. I'm going to have to read it over here because the camera is in the way of that monitor currently. First post and happy birthday to me, sort of. My female super red pleco finally laid her clutch after I put in bamboo caves for my two males. Thanks for the idea, Alyssa, which, by the way, is a great idea. If you can't afford some pleco caves, you could probably, pleco caves, you could probably afford some chunks of bamboo. Right? That'll work. They'll go in there. They'll cave up. They'll go crazy. This is the first spawn attempt, I believe, but to my dismay this morning, he kicked out the eggs. Any advice? I tried putting them back in when he is in, but he kicked them back out. Not 5 minutes later, the snails are drooling, trying to eat them. So my advice here is that so a big part of this right here is that this is the first fish spawn attempt with them. And there almost always is a problem with the first batch of any fish, typically. You start to talk, people will start to antagonize me and be like, yeah, what about salmon? Salmon, they only spawn that one time and then all the baby salmon come from Okay, yeah, that's why I'm saying not always, but most fish, it's like angelfish, cories, placos, guppy, guppies are livebearers, but you know what I'm saying, right? All those little egg scatterers, or especially the fish that take care of the eggs in caves and stuff like that. Normally, the first batch, there's something wrong with them. And the fish know what's up. The fish know maybe there was a slight fungus to them. Maybe they didn't get fertilized properly. There's probably a bunch of crazy reasons that none of us would really be thinking of. But typically, they kick them out of the cave if there's some kind of problem. So I would just err with that your fish kind of knows what's going on. Let them breed again. Typically, the second time that they spawn and do eggs and cave and take care of them and all that stuff, they will work out. They should, would, could work out, and hopefully that's good. The chat was scrolling by. I saw Kevin's Aquarium says hello, what's up? And I did notice that Crash says I'm joking. I'm from Iran. Yeah, like that's my whole point right there. That's my whole point right there in a nutshell. Crash is somebody who comes into the chat. We've never met in person, as far as I know. But there are billions and billions and billions of awesome people in this world. And, Crash says he's Italian. Okay, well, maybe that's the problem. You can't be out there fibbing. Right? But either way, that's my whole point. There's billions and billions of people on this planet. And if anybody out there thinks that going to war is a good idea, it's not. Period. End of story. It's just not. Nope. Christopher Tam sends this in, says, hey, Joel, I started keeping giant autos and placos, and I know they like to eat wood. What are some softer woods in the hobby they can eat and I can replace on a monthly basis? Thank you. So the first thing I would jump in with this is most any of the wood out there I guess the first part I would put on it would be number one, every piece of wood that you put underwater is going to deteriorate and break down eventually, right? There's no real piece of wood that is going to last forever. It's not gonna exist forever and just stay in there exactly the way. Eventually, it will break down. It will fall apart. It will deteriorate, and it will, start to go by the wayside, because that's nature. That's how nature recycles the wood, turns the wood back into something that's usable. My tinnitus is kicking right now. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I have awesome hearing damage, and every once in a while, it does weird stuff. Whoa. All right. Well, back to normal. So the wood is going to break down. So I would say that the biggest concern that you have here is cost. If you have fish that are actively breaking it down, like I had a lot of clown plecos for a long time, and clown plecos eat wood like it is going out of style, and you don't ever even really get to see them that often, so it's hardly even enjoyable. I love them, but boy howdy do they eat the wood like crazy. Spiderwood is probably my favorite type of wood, look and cost brought into play, right? So if you take availability, cost, and how it looks, you put those three together, that's kind of where I feel like the value most is, because you don't typically have to buy the super fancy pieces of spiderwood. I normally buy it and then cut up and make my own kind of chunks, or trim them down, or, I'll like trim this branch off, that branch, stick it around the other side, glue some stuff to it, that kind of stuff. I like the spiderwood the best, but most of the bog woods, like this giant chunk that I have back here, Let me get my arrow. This is typically marketed as like bogwood, I think, is what people are normally marketing it as when you're like at a store. This is a big giant piece right here. This piece was like $110 retail. So obviously it's not free. Obviously it's not super cheap, but that's a lot of wood if you're willing to either break it down or utilize a giant piece like that, right? So maybe that's a better value for you, kind of depending on what's around. But my advice would be spiderwoods is kind of the best multi-use kind of situation that works kind of the best. I'm feeling like that is my favorite way I have this set up right now. There we go. So hopefully that's some advice. I don't know. Maybe it's not great advice, but it's some advice. I typically would go with spiderwood and bogwood are my two kind of favorite ones. And the bogwood, it sometimes it's like just Malaysian bogwood or something like that. It never has like really all that much of a fancy name or anything, but yeah. Short Bald and Preston sends this in. We have a side-by-side Ludwigia arcuata repens. It's arcuata on the repens. I don't know what the X repens is, but I'm guessing that's supposed to be arcuata, right? And that's supposed to be arcuata, correct? Or is this repens and this is arcuata? Now I'm confused. But this is emergent grown on the right for sure, which is what it says. And submerged grown on the left, yes. So this is arcuata on the left, grown submerged. Mine actually grows a lot skinnier and longer. But yes, the leaf shape, the veining and coloring looks correct to be arcuata. I grow a longer needly. Mine grow more like needle leaf long. But yeah. And then this is it above water, and I'm not sure if this is repens or arcuata that is growing above the water column. Hard to say. But you can see just how wildly different they are. Ludwigia is kind of one of my favorite plants, mainly just because it is just a robust varietal that most people could grow in any kind of situation, realistically. You could grow it in a pot. You could grow it in your sump. You can grow it in your aquascape. It could be super fancy and do all those things. And Ludwigia is one that I generally give advice to everybody to grow at all times. Reed sends in a $6.42 super chat. Thank you very much. It's a weird dollar amount, but cool. I dig it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Says, we're setting up a 50-gallon lowboy Shelly tank similar to Primetime Aquatics. What's up, Jason? That guy's so cool. I met that guy in person, and I was like, I wish this guy was my uncle or something. I wish I was related to him. Great guy. Nice guy. I liked his aura. I liked his vibes, right? Like, that's a whole hip 2020 thing to say. Vibes. We'll be worrying about our vibes. But yeah, I like Jason. He's real cool. Anyhow, sand with Dragonstone Island. Any thoughts on plants with the multis? Multis they'll generally go to town on pretty much any plants, you know. It's just kind of their thing. They like to clear out areas, you know. That's just kind of one of their things. That's the environment that they come from. That's why they make shells their caves. You know, they come from an area that doesn't have a lot of plants and stuff like that. But if you are building the island, Dragonstone Island, so you're going to have some emerged plants growing up above. This would be a perfect example that, like the arcuata here. Most of the Ludwigias you can grow. You just build a little wabikusa type ball, put those in there, plant them into it, and just let them grow up into the air like crazy. And then you just it's a matter of trimming and replanting and trimming and replanting. And I would just keep See, last time I did a planted Shelly tank, I focused on the raft and the upper shelf and everything going on up above it. I really was not super concerned with the aquascape underwater, other than rock work and the shells, and doing rocks and shells, to kind of segregate the areas so I could have little kind of colonies and stuff. Obviously, it was a long time ago, because you guys haven't like made videos about it. It was a long time ago I did that. It was probably 2009, something like that. So 11, 12 years ago, maybe even before that. Luckily, back then as a chef, I was able to get my shells from one of my food purveyors. So one of my seafood guys was like, "Oh, you need like big shells?" And I was like, "Yeah, I need like big freshwater snail shells." And he was like, "Oh, you mean like escargot shells?" And I was like, "You know what? That didn't cross my mind, but yes, you are 100% correct." He was like, "Cool." He sent me like a 50-pound. It was like those big onion bags. Yeah. Oops. I got a few too many of those, so I ended up having to. Yeah, I had a lot of those snail shells. I was out of control. But that's really my thought on doing a tank like that. Any tank that has a fish that really doesn't want plants to be around, you do some bigger cichlids and stuff like that. I focus on things that are going to be either rafted above, either a shelf above or a raft above, or everything just coming straight up out the top of the tank. That's kind of really where I focus on, what I'm doing. It's like what I'm doing specifically with plants and stuff and those fish. That looks like that's in Italian. I don't speak Italian. Anybody speaks Italian, let me know if Annalie's saying anything bad in Italian, because typically a different language, I normally just delete it, but it's Annalie, so I'm sure it's probably just funny. Anjanette Roblowski. I don't know if I managed to say it right. Says, love being in Chicago so I can see Jason from primetime often. Yeah, it's not bad. I like that. All right, back to our Patreon posts from Short Bald and Preston. If you guys don't know, he's the guy I got my puffers from. And if you're looking for puffers, or maybe some plants, I don't know. But Preston seems to have a weird plant collection going now. He's got duckweed in here. He's got Ludwigia. He's got Pocostemon growing sideways, going this way. There's a lot happening in here. And he was wondering if I could locate the shrimp that's not supposed to be there. And let me turn on my arrow here just in case people don't realize. I'm pretty sure this is the shrimp that he's talking about right there. I don't know. I mean, if I need to make the arrow bigger, I will make the arrow bigger. I'm happy to accommodate however big of an arrow you all need. You YouTubers. You YouTube community. Are we a community here or what? I think we're a community here. We're the Oceaneers. We're the Oceaneers strong. And those of you that were wondering if I'm going to make merch again, yeah. Yes. I have decided that I'm going to make merch again. So if people want to buy a t-shirt that says Fart Butt Poopy Pants, or whatever it is that I put on there, I don't think it'll say Fart Butt Poopy Pants, but I might do that. You never know. Yes, I'll be making some merch because it is now the year 2020, the year of merch. Right? Isn't this the year of merch? I think every time I talk about the year now, I'm going to say it's the year of something. Kenny Loggins is my hero. Kenny Loggins is a Top Gun singer man. Right? By the way, if you ever want to see the funniest interview that you've ever seen, watch something different than what I'm about to tell you about. But this one is pretty darn funny. It's not the funniest thing I've ever seen. I feel like I built it up too much. But it was sort of like the 25th anniversary, and they were interviewing people that had to do with production on Top Gun, the original one. And Kenny Loggins was one of the people that they were interviewing. And Kenny Loggins was literally, he was like, "Oh, I'm Kenny Loggins. I want to be on Top Gun." And they were like, "Oh, okay, we have guys doing the music." And he was like, "Oh, I always wanted to be a rock and roll guy." So the quote that hung with me was, he was like, "Yeah, I got this opportunity to make these songs for this movie that I don't really know. But I always wanted to be a rock and roll guy. Every time I tried to write a song, a folk song came out. So I could never make a rock song." And he was like, "This was my opportunity to actually make a good rock song that wasn't accidentally a folk song." Oh my God, it's the funniest thing. So, yeah. It's 2020, the year of merch. It's 2020, the year of Top Gun 2, Electric Boogaloo. You guys know what I'm saying. You know what's up. You know what's happening, right? Sand Creek Aquatics with a $2 sticker emoji thumbs up guy. Well, thank you. And Rumbust with the Swedish Crones 2061. And by the way, that is a penny for every single day. A penny, well, Swedish style. So it's like, I think it comes out to like $2. For every single day I've been sober, and I appreciate Rumbust. Thank you very much, man. You're a huge supporter, bro. And, reminding me of my sober date and just going like, you know what? I got to roll into the year 2020 having been sober for, I'll be going on 6 years here pretty soon, which is... That's big time, man. So big time. Sunwise says 2020, the year of Kenny Loggins' basement solos. Ooh, I like it. Might have to put that on a shirt. Who knows? But merch is coming, so relax. I was working on designing it a while ago, and I'm still trying to find a supplier / situation that works really good. I hope it works really good. It's like I hope it works. What I meant to say was, I hope it works out really well if someone actually orders the shirt and they get a really good quality product. Yeah. Does that sound professional for you? Hey, hopefully y'all be able to order your Farty McPooper Pants shirts, and the next thing you know, they're really high quality, and you're super satisfied with the service that you got, and everybody was a-smiling. Yeah. You guys will notice that I'm clicking the little heart button as we roll along on the Patreon post. The reason for that is so that the people that posted them will know that I was what time I clicked and was talking about it. So they'll know it was 12:45 p.m. Specific Standard Time that I clicked the button. Then they would know, if they only wanted to hear me talk about their post, they would know exactly where to go in the video. And I know that I realized that, I see comments a lot from people that are like, "Dude, your stupid live stream is stupid too long, and you don't make timestamps, and you don't make this, and you don't make that." And you know what, to be brutally honest with you guys, I would love to make and sit here and cut up all of the live streams and make them into super cool videos for y'all. I don't have time to do that. It's just not possible. Someday I'm going to have to hire somebody to do that, and I just can't do that yet. I don't know. Google? I don't know. Google? What's the deal? Send it over. Send the editor over to do that. I'll cry over here in my tears of non-existence. Waiting for the flower for the first time. Anyone know what species of Anubias this could be? What do we got? What species of Anubias could this be? Does anybody know what kind of species of Anubias this could be? From the picture, it just looks like a barter to me, really. Let me see. Nubius varietals. Oh, yeah, there we go. Boom. I mean, it just looks like a barter like it's just popping out, doing some barter stuff. But let me take a look here for a second and see if I can't pop up some inspirational images that what it may or may not be. I mean, it looks like a barter but I'm wondering if there's something out there that's maybe making me think that it might be something else. And, to those of you out there that somehow think I know every single thing that has ever happened, whether it be plants or whatever in an aquarium, I certainly don't know everything, but it literally looks like barter to me. I mean, it doesn't look anything crazy. They just have a tendency to grow like that when, it's not to say that there's a deficiency. It's not really the right way to put it. But typically when they're all kind of spaced out and gapped out like this, is they've gone through some troubles. They've gone through some troubles, and some of the leaves have died off and stuff, and they end up growing out kind of wonky like that. And it's not really that big of a deal. Crash is saying sorry about using Italian. The problem is I'm not mad at anybody using any other language. It's just that the chat doesn't translate it. So typically we just have to delete it. If somebody posts up there in Spanish, I can read it, but I still just have to delete it because it's just like, I don't know. I can't be sitting here reading every single thing. And I certainly can't, force moderators like 54 Punchy to be like, hey, can you copy and paste and throw it in there and Google Translate and see whatever it is that people are talking about? When the reality is it's like, oh, you just delete it and then say, sorry, stop, only post in English, because that's way easier for the moderators that are uncompensated, by the way. Oh, I gotta hit the. Oh yeah, baby, we're back. Whew. Whew. I had to get a little. I had to get a little coffee there after almost dying. Speaking of moderators, if you guys don't know who 54 Punchy is, if you head over to the Patreon and you click through this community link right here, this community post, Pamela Earlywine is 54 Punchy, moderator extraordinaire, artist extraordinaire. She's a much better artist than she is a moderator, so that gives you an idea how much of an artist that she really is. Oh man, it's back. The coughing. We're 50 minutes in. That kind of makes sense. Oh man, there's like 93 people. Oh my god, the coughing may never end. It feels like it will be forever. It will be forever. Yeah. Where did my window go here? 93 people watching and 44 likes. Oh, come on, you guys. We have to hit the stupid like button. And believe you me, I don't want to hit the like button either. I don't ever want to hit the like button on anything. I don't want anybody to know. I don't want anybody to have to ever hit a like button. Believe you me, it's not me. It's not me. I don't want to force anybody to hit a like button. I don't want anybody to have to do anything. I almost think it's too cumbersome that you guys even need to get a notification and follow the notification. It feels like a lot of work sometimes, But that's really one of those things, right? You know? You know what I mean? Sometimes it's one of those things that we just have to hit the goofy like button. Otherwise, the robots will be mad at us, and we don't want that because the robot overlords are going to win. They're solar powered, and we're fossil fuel powered, and hey, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out for us because they're solar powered. It's going to work out for them. They're the evil robots, right? Hello. Pamela sends this in. She says, I decided since my channel is growing, it is time to upgrade the sound system. What do y'all think? Is this a good, reliable brand to go with? You know, Campbell's Soup aside, Campbell's Soup is not a sponsor of the show. So I will say, well, Campbell's Soup is garbage because they're not a sponsor of the show. So, get with it. Get with it, Campbell's Soup. Become a sponsor sometime. Then people won't have to hit the like button so much. Then everybody won't have to take their phone out and poke buttons so that the robot overlords will know whether or not you liked a thing. Even though you probably were listening to this show for 48 minutes straight. Like, that's not enough. Like, they aren't tracking that anyhow, because they are. Stupid Google machines tracking what we like and what we don't like. It's bizarre. Anyhow, Campbell seems to be time-tested. Like, it's a company that's been around a long time. But also, like I said before, they're not a sponsor, so F them, right? I would say, time-tested, reliability, the reliability is high on this. There's not a lot of points of failure. There's not a lot of downside. Technologically, there's not a lot of points of failure, right? But I just think that this is one of those times that we just need to bow down to our robot overlords and just get a communication device that is a little bit out of the Stone Age, because the amplification process through the Campbell's soup can is just insufficient for our tiny human brains. So we need a robot to translate and amplify the sound for us through a magnetic response speaker diaphragm, right? Isn't that how a speaker works, I think? I don't know. Just get a cell phone would be the easy answer. They're like free now, I think. Rumba sends this in. Long time no love stream. Whoa. I didn't realize that this became the love stream. Well, it is Friday after all, guys. Maybe the Monday stream isn't the love stream, but why not Friday? If we're going to have a love stream, why not have a Friday love stream? I ate macaroni and cheese today, guys, so that's probably why I'm dying. But I did eat some blueberries, and I ate some vitamins, so maybe I'll survive. Who knows? Long time, no live stream for me. Probably not today either, although we did see Rumbust earlier, so hey. We got a little fix. We got a little fix of our main man. So sad I didn't see him last time I was in Europe, but I want to hang out with him one of these days. It would have been dope. Oh, excuse me. Would have been dope if he had been to the Netherlands. That would have been cool. To Vivarium. That would have been super fun. Excuse me. But perhaps I can stop by a while. You talked a while ago about the possibility of road tripping through Sweden. That's a worthwhile trip, and I promise to help you plan it out and to join you for some touristing if you make it over here. I know where the aquarium stores are and which historic sites are most interesting. It's not impossible that I could meet you en route, and guide you to a few sites on the way to Stockholm. Yes, this is one of the things that Vicky and I want to do is we want to go into Copenhagen, right, and then drive this road trip up to Stockholm, because it's like an 8-hour drive or something like that, which Obviously, there's a lot of stops on the way and stuff like that. It's a bit of a road trip, but I really feel like that's a great way to have a vacation, is like be in Denmark for 2 days and Copenhagen and stuff. Drive up north for half a day or whatever, make it to a spot, drive up to Stockholm, go there for 2 days or something. Like, that would be rad. Like, that would be super duper rad. I look forward to hopefully doing that. It's on my list. It's what I want to, it's one of the things we want to do. I got to hit the mute button here again before I cough directly into the. Whoa. That was some epic coughing, you guys. And somebody was saying I should take Mucinex and stuff earlier. And yes, I did. I did earlier. And now I just sniffed my nose and realized that, like, things are happening. But, hey, as soon as I'm off the mic, I'll just get back to editing one of the Netherlands videos, which I hope you guys like. I hope you guys will like that video because it's 2020, the year of Top Gun 2 and merch, I guess. I guess that's what we're doing. Sam Malone says, what are some water parameters for planted shrimp tank already using Fluval stratum? That depends on the shrimp. You guys, come on now. We talking about Amano shrimp, cherry shrimp, Neocaridinus, Caridinus, Taiwan bee shrimp? Are we talking about Amanos, Sulawesi shrimp? Are we talking about vampire shrimp, bamboo? You know, there's so many kinds of shrimp, guys. Can't just give you straight up an answer that just says shrimp, because they all have crazy different parameters. Like Sulawesi is just bananas. Someday I will keep them again. But right now, it would be a ton of extra legwork, and I'm super happy with my pintos. They are dope, and I love them, and they're my friends. They are my friends, my little shrimp friends. And I'm gonna get some more, because it's 2020, the year of the shrimp. And merch and Top Gun 2. Don't forget. Yeah. So smooth. Uh-oh. I got a message from Corey. It is a thumbs up. Oh, what is this? Facebook. Get out of here. You goofy Facebook. All right, I have to go over and click on this thing. Then I got to click on that thing. Then it's going to pull up the thing. Oh, I got the circle. Waiting. Man. I love the thumbs up response. That's always good, and I use it a lot. But sometimes that thing is just sending me way too many notifications that I got a thumbs up emoji. All right. Was scared for a minute there. Planted aquatics. Pants melting in tanks would not be a good thing. Depends on your pants. Maybe you're somebody who's into those, what do we call it? Weekend extracurricular activities with pants that melt into tanks. Maybe it's something that you're into. I don't know. Let me scroll up into the chat and find out what it was. Planted aquatics. I swapped my pants from one tank to another, and they all melted. Yes. Of course. Planet Aquatics. Hey, by the way, if you're naming your channel Planted Aquatics, I would hope that you have a little bit of experience with Planet aquariums and aquatics. If you do, you would know, generally speaking, moving plants, oftentimes even in the same tank, they will end up melting off because of a change in the water conditions. Now, moving them from tank to tank, you got a real good chance that things are going to melt off because you're going from a different water parameter to another. Sometimes it can be as simple as, 3 or 4 degrees different. Like maybe your thermometer in this aquarium says 72, but it's actually 70. And the other one over here says 74, but it's actually 76 or something, right? most of the thermometers we all use aren't that accurate. So maybe something like that. Really simple. Can cause them all to melt off. But as long as the roots and everything and, roots in the stem and stuff like that are there, then it'll be good. It'll be good. You'll be fine. Chris Scoggins says, how you got that Joel emoji? That is because he's a member, Chris. When you hit the join button on the old YouTube, you end up getting a little emoji after your name. And your name is green in the chat also, depending on your device. It doesn't work on some things for some reason. Apparently, Google doesn't have enough money to program that in properly. So it doesn't work on everything, but it works on most things. But yeah, if you hit that join button on YouTube, you can join up and sponsor the channel. It's $5 a month, or you could go over to Patreon and sponsor the channel from as little as $1 a month. Which, hey, if you happen to be here a couple hours a month and you learn a couple things and you have some laughs while I joke around about gosh knows what, or you watch some of the edited content or something like that, feel like $1 a month's a freaking bargain. I went to go see Star Wars the other day, and that was $28. For, about 2 hours of entertainment, maybe. I to be honest with you guys, I want Netflix to sponsor a show that has a good enough budget for like me and Corey and Jimmy and Primetime Aquatics and Aqua Pros and Bob Steenfoozles and Tazawa's Tanks and Lucas Bratz and HC Aqua, and I don't know. I want Netflix to come up with enough of a budget sponsorship for all of us to get together and make an actual show that could be on Netflix or something. But it just hasn't come to fruition yet. It just hasn't happened. I want to make a show like Grand Designs. If you've ever seen Grand Designs, I want to make a show like that. Around aquatics, and stuff like that. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's one of the things I want to do. There's other stuff I want to do too. I will say that Vicky and I are actively working on putting together a plan for some of that stuff. And I am almost always excited about that kind of stuff, right? Look at this technology. Look how big I can make this. Yeah. Whoop. 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 Oh, what is going on? Line up in the corner correctly. Now I got to move my baby. There we go. All right. Anyhow, that's enough pitch talk. Let me see what I got in the chat here. Keith Hanshaw says, what is a good complementary plant for Aponogeton bolivianus and Pogostem encellatus octopus? It's a low-tech setup. Crispus is nice. I like Cryptocorini balancea. I don't know. I always probably say that one wrong. I thought it's balancea, but whoops. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Oops. Whoop. Whoa. I'm on the wrong page. We'll go back to the regular page. Ugh. Guys, I clicked in, was on the wrong page. This is where we're at right now, guys. We're over here on the Patreon page. What happened? I wanted to be on the posts. There we go. And it's a all right. Yeah. Did you guys check out that YouTube video? I'm in it. Oops. Accidentally published it instead of scheduling the video. Oops. Yeah, that was me. Oh, there's family photos. Oh, man, you guys. There's just all sorts of cool content out here on the old Patreon page. You should probably check that out. Oh, yeah. Sorry. What was I talking about? Cryptobalancea, which I was going to try and look up, which is why I clicked the wrong thing over there and went to the wrong page, which I was wondering who has that right now. Cryptocorini. Oop. Balancea. Balenciaga. Who has it? Who has it? Let me see. Oh my gosh, I always forget about Cryptocorini. Balenciaga. Who has it? Buse Plant has it right now. So I bet if you go look it up, $7. It's $6.99. I don't know who else carries it. But that was the first. That was the top post on Google. Let me see if I can get an image here. Let me see if I can get an image. I can get an image forever. Can you get an image from the beginning? I don't know, no. Aquaforest Aquarium. There. Save image as. Oh, no. No, we can't do this. It's where are you saving it? Cancel. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to cancel the order of that. I'm going to bring it over here. All right, there we go. And then I got to open this little window here. Oh, it says they're sold out. Aquaforest Aquarium is sold out. So wherever that is. But look at this, pH 5.9. Demands easy, lighting, medium. You don't need high. It's too much. Medium. I don't know. There's a bunch of nonsense down there. And, oh, let me see if I can't do this. Control, smaller. What am I changing? Oh, it's changing something. I don't know. It's changing the sizing on something. There. Yeah. This isn't really a advertisement for them, but that's a look at the old plant. Oh, look at a whole different picture. Windows Defender says that. God. I don't understand why a Windows Defender would even be doing anything, but all right. Let me. I'm gonna close that. Oops, that's the wrong one. Let me. Where's my window capture? Window region. Right there. There. Okay. Now I can safely close this window. Oh, whoops. I think I lost my, yeah, I did. I lost my whole Google that had the Patreon open. Oh, no. Let's go back to it, guys. We're going to go back to it. 66 likes. I don't know. It still feels short. Still feels like we've been shorted. But that's life. But yeah, Cryptocorini Balenciaga would be my advice. Do that. It's the biggest aquarium expo in Europe. In Deutschland. Germany. Yes, you can say Deutschland. We know. What is the biggest Nuremberg Aquarium show? You mean Interzoo? Interzoo. You know, I don't know. I'm hoping to go to Interzoo again this year. I'm hoping that, like, Netflix has some reps there, but I doubt it. So it's probably, I would guess that the most, I guess the most famous people that would be there or whatever would probably be Oliver Knott, I would guess. So if Netflix doesn't send anybody, at the very least, I can hang out with Oliver Knott. So that'll be cool. John Gonzalez says, I'm driving home from work, Joel. Get me home. How long is your drive? Because my voice is getting really haggard at this point, and I'm really kind of just staving off the coughing at this point. Although I will say I am better than I was yesterday and the day before, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Can't get mad. What do we got? What about Sea Chem and Red Cherry? I don't know what that means. That's not enough of a question. I guess you guys are just chatting in the chat, so I guess that's a thing. LRB has a nice LRB has a nice crypt in his tanks. Cryptocorini udorii or bulosa, maybe the same plant. Yeah, I have some of that. I have some in the sump on the 240 and some in the back on the right-hand side of the 240. So, yeah, you can't really see it very often. I like the Usteriana better, though, personally. That's just me. I like to use that one a lot more, and I had a bunch of it up here, the Usteriana, which I like better, personally. But it wasn't doing too well up on this shelf up here, so I switched it out for some Ludwigia, and I'm going to bring those and put them in a different tank. That would be better for them. All right, fiberglass window screen safe for use in a shrimp tank. No, I typically use stainless steel screen whenever I add any kind of screen or anything like that into a shrimp tank. I typically use stainless steel, which can be sourced generally at the same place. It can be found most nicer, better hardware stores. I actually found mine, I don't know, like 5 or 6 years ago. Some store like Home Depot or something like that was blowing out these giant rolls of it for like $4. So I bought a couple of those, and I've never had to go look for any more after the fact. River Life, what's up, my guy? Says favorite fish for a 5-gallon. Tiger antlers. Those are kind of my favorite fish right now. I'm kind of obsessed with them because they're breeding. I'm so stoked. So I would say, yeah, tiger antlers. Maybe some like emerald rasboras. Those would be cool. Yeah, one of those two. Sam Malone says, what are some water parameters for a planted shrimp tank? I have some Fluval stratum already. See, now that, again, I'm still confused. You asked before for a planted shrimp tank. What are some water parameters for a planted shrimp tank? I mean, it depends on the shrimp. You need to be more specific about the shrimp. If you're talking about, like, crystal shrimp or cherry shrimp or what, you know. So that's what I would need to know. Best dorsal view nano fish. Probably those Pseudomagil rainbows, probably. Those would probably be on my list as best dorsal view. Probably be. I mean, they're a nano. I mean, you'd probably want like a 15-gallon or something like that, but I still consider that like a nano tank. I feel like anything that's under a 20 long and below is a nano tank, in my opinion. Yeah, kind of winding down here. What else we got? Tori Underwood had to go. Y'all, my phone is on the fritz and my child is losing her ever-loving mind. Oh, I know that pain. Hasn't lost. Sam Malone says crystal and cherry. Yes, sir. Okay, so I don't want this to sound mean or anything like that, but it sounds to me like you are a little bit confused about what you're wanting to do with your shrimp. So if you're doing crystal shrimp, the water parameters are wildly different from cherry shrimp. Cherry shrimp can pretty much exist in just about any planted aquarium, from the pH of 6.6 all the way up to 7.8. Water temperature is wide ranged with cherry shrimp. I think the highest I would ever go is like 88 degrees all the way down to 60. They have a wide range. GH and KH don't really mean anything, but crystal shrimp, you have a much smaller window of opportunity to keep them healthy. So, yeah. Anybody that's doing a shrimp tank, I would say do some research into the specific shrimp that you want to do. Set that tank up, get it mature. And when I say get it mature, I mean let it grow for like 6 months before you are dumping shrimp in there. Now, cherry shrimp, you could pretty much dump into any old tank. This 240 right here is a giant colony of cherry shrimp, and I do nothing, and I mean nothing, other than net them out of the sump from time to time to keep the colony going. I just feed the fish. I just take care of the tank and the plants and stuff, and then Sam says, I'd like to buy both, but sounds like I really don't need to. Yeah, don't buy both. Do one and not the other. They don't go in the same tank. The cherry shrimp could go in a tank with the crystal shrimp, but there would be no reason to put cherry shrimp into a crystal shrimp tank. It would be like putting a house cat in with like snow leopards and then being really concerned about taking care of the house cat and sort of ignoring the snow leopards in a cage. That kind of makes sense. So yeah, if you're gonna do crystal shrimp of any kind, they get extremely expensive. But even if you're gonna do the low end crystal shrimp, you're still looking at $150, $200 investment in those shrimp. And I wouldn't jump into it and waste that money and have them die just to keep some cherry shrimps alive. But start with cherry shrimp, Neocaridinus. Those are the ones that you want. Find some that are locally bred and raised in whatever country you live in, and get them local, raise them up, learn how to do it with cherry shrimp and not crystal shrimp. So like this shrimp right here in my picture down here, this is a form of crystal shrimp. So this is a Caridina shrimp that, so it's a black pinto variety of crystal shrimp. So the pinto spats. I would not recommend people to do that one. Ooh. So Johan says West Dyke and Shaka's Fish Heaven said they both like their videos very much. That is awesome. I liked Johan's interview video. I liked West Dyke's video. I feel like Shaka's wasn't that great just from our filming end. Like, I don't think that we filmed it as good as we could. But Johan and I were both just kind of learning how we were working together on the fly and stuff like that. So it's fine. You know, our first incarnation, I think we did pretty good. I've also got more videos coming out from the Netherlands. I didn't realize how far I was from the camera, guys. Sorry, I was like a million miles away. I realized that I coughed so much that scooted me away from y'all. Sorry. River Life says max number of cherry shrimp in a 5-gallon. I would say the maximum number is somewhere in the range of 50, 60, something like that. You want to be netting them out and moving them to another tank if you're getting a massive amount of shrimp in a tank. And I know 100% that people get their eyes start spinning around. They get all these little stars in their eyes and stuff when their little tank has like a billion shrimp in it. And eventually the colony will collapse. That's just how shrimp operate. It's not even really much that you could do as the caretaker. Now, there's a ton of work that you could do as a caretaker to really maintain a big colony in a tiny tank. But the risk versus reward, like, I don't get what the reward is, because netting them out, culling some of them, and moving them to another tank, that's super easy. So I don't get the idea of like, oh, I just want to keep 1 billion shrimp in this tank and then they all die someday, because, maybe the tank gets too hot. Maybe the ammonia just gets a little too high. A couple of them die. Then the ammonia gets higher because a couple of them died. Then those ones start decomposing a little bit. Then the ammonia goes up because those are decomposing, and it's just a compounding effect. It's a real miserable day. Maybe the number is 100 for a 5-gallon or something, but when they're that prevalent in the tank, it becomes real obvious. And I think, when I say cull them, it doesn't mean that you need to murder them. You don't have to kill them. But do be aware that shrimp are food in nature. Like that's why they breed like crazy. That's why there's so many of them. That's why they do that, because they get eaten. They're something that is essentially kind of existing in nature to be eaten. They're like a carbon sink. They're going to eat up all this scraps and crap and make themselves into a shrimp, and then they get eaten and it gets passed on to another critter, So that's kind of like their function in nature. So be aware that that's the reality that they're kind of living. And if the colony gets too big, it'll destroy itself, essentially. Dave's Aquarium says, I can't wait to see the SEM video. What's the SEM video? I don't know. I don't know what the SEM video is. SEM? I don't know. Crash says, I see that you like the Planet Tank more than fish tank. Do you plan in the future to make experiences with fish tanks like discus or community tank? I do a lot of stuff. I used to do a ton of stuff with community fish breeding and stuff like that. Planet tanks are kind of my focus. As what I like to do. I like shrimps. I like plants. I like aquariums. I have like a pretty extensive experience with beta fish, some other stuff that I've bred over the years, and it's not like my main focus. Realistically. Planet aquariums are kind of my deal. We got a $5 super chat from the River Life. Thank you, Rack. I hope to see you very soon. I saw something on social media. Is that who we say it now? We say social media now. I think I saw something on Instagram that was that you're super close to 3,000 subscribers. I hope you made it. I don't know if I can just one click over to your... Oh, I can. Oops. Well, I lost my chat. Oh no, it didn't even take me to your channel. It took me to my channel. That's not what I was trying to do. Oh, sad. I gotta go over here and find my chat again, guys. Oh, Dave said the scanning electron microscope. Yes. That, I don't know when that video is going to come out. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know when it's going to come out. It's it's a video that's going to take a lot of editing to get looking amazed, and there's just a lot of overlays and just a whole lot of editing that goes into that one. It's like way more editing than an average video. So I don't know when that one will come out, but it should be fun. Just added a bunch of crystal shrimp after getting a little better at keeping water. I recommend a TDS meter decently helping. TDS meter is good for testing your filter water. To make sure that your water filter is actually operating correctly is generally what a TDS meter is used for. There really is not a huge use for a TDS meter in just an average aquarium. And it really shows people's ignorance if they're sticking a TDS meter into their established aquarium and then being like, yeah, look, it's at 280 TDS. You're like, what are the... I mean, TDS stands for total dissolved solids, and that meter, the TDS meter, tests the conductivity of water, right? So it sends out an electrical current, and it tests the resistance from one probe to the other probe to find out about how much resistance there is in water, because water doesn't conduct electricity very well. So the more crap that's in your water, which could be asbestos, it could be lead, it could be mercury, it could be nitrate, it could be nitrite, it could be ammonia, it could be, GHK, there's so many things that it gives. Calcium. Do you have a ton of calcium and salt in your water? Because your TDS will be higher if you have a ton of salt and calcium in your water. Right? Right? But it doesn't tell you what it is. It gives you a number of the conductivity of the water. A TDS meter is essentially used when you're using a reverse osmosis deionized water filter, which is typically abbreviated as a RODI, water filter, so that there is zero extra components in your water that is coming out of your filter, right? So that whatever you add to it, you have a measurement, right? You're like, I have 5 gallons of water, I add 1/2 cup of NPK or something, right? Then you have this measurement, the 1/2 cup that goes to the 5 gallons. Okay, you could put your TDS meter in that bucket to find out what the TDS is once you've added the NPK to it, right? But that also doesn't give you an idea of what the conductivity is of the tank, because the conductivity of the tank is going to change as things respirate within the aquarium. So bacteria is consuming things. Is there light hitting it? Is there, is there a CO2 gas, CO2, O2, nitrogen exchange happening because light electrons are hitting the water and activating the water, so that you have a different gas exchange compared to the nighttime of the tank, even though the temperature is the same, being artificially heated from a heater, right? The TDS meter is just not the tool that's going to give you something to work with unless you have some kind of measurement that you can compare it with. You see what I'm saying? So Dave's Aquarium says TDS also can't tell the difference between a little bit of salt in the water or a ton of calcium. That's the reality. The TDS meter is just testing the conductivity of the water. And I swear, when I watch a YouTube video and somebody goes, I got my TDS meter and look, I put it in my tank. And look, it says 280. And then, I put it in the water of the fish I just got from the breeder 4,000 miles away. And look, the TDS is 280 from their water, too. Huh? Like, I'm sorry, but in my opinion, you just exposed your complete, ignorance of what it is, the tool that you're using, and the fact that you have a ton of misinformation that you're putting out there, right? I see people do it all the time on YouTube with no explanation of what it is that they're doing, what it is the reading that they've come up with. And it is mind-bending to me that when other people don't see that, they don't go, oh, this person's an idiot. Because that's the reality. It's like either this person is an idiot or they just don't know, or they're lying to you. So to me, I'm like, if it's one of those three things, I don't really want to be involved with whatever the hell is going on here. Right? Yes, I am the owner of TDS meters. I have a bunch of them. They're like $9. But I just use them to find out what's coming out of my filtered water. I have a refractometer to find out what my water salinity is, that I do actually calibrate back to zero on a regular basis. And by the way, I see a lot of people use a refractometer and they have no clue how to use it, I'm a chef. I used to make tons and tons of sorbet on a regular basis and had to learn how to use a refractometer that was like a $3,000 refractometer to find out the sugar content of what it was that I was putting into the sorbet to make proper sorbet. But people out there with a TDS meter that was $8 that they ordered off of Amazon, they suddenly drop it into their fish tank, and then they have a reading from some fish that they just got in from Florida Like I'm in Western Washington. If fish just dropped here from Florida, and the only reading that I was doing was going like, oh, the TDS meter says 325 from the Florida water, and then here's my water. Oh, it says 325. It's the same, bro. Hey, bro, it's the same, right? Except this one's probably 325 ammonia, and ours would be like 325 of just, a little bit of nitrate, a little bit of, you get what I'm saying? Excuse me. I was going to keep going, but I was going to start coughing. Dave's Aquarium says most people don't understand what the units are that a TDS meter uses. Microsiemens aren't even well understood among most electrical engineers, for whom the measurement is kind of common. Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things like, if I honestly, when I see people like show off their TDS meter skills on YouTube, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and never watch any of this content ever again. If somebody in the reef community was like, oh, I got in all these super expensive corals. I got a bunch of coral frags in, and I got these in from Thailand or Singapore or something, right? We just got these in, and hey, I'm just going to put my TDS meter in here to find out what's up with their water, and then I'll put the TDS meter in my reef tank, and then, we're good, right? The TDS meter over here says 985, and I checked the TDS meter in the bag from the corals that I got in, and it says 985, so it must be exactly the same water, right? Huh? Which would be hilarious. I would love to see somebody do that with their coral and then just watch like $5,000 fall down the drain when they died, So, it's just one of those things. It is a big time personal pet peeve that when I see people do that, and it's terrible misinformation. It's terrible misinformation for people that don't have a ton of experience. And the unfortunate part is, what you don't see in Europe is that if people don't have a lot of experience, they don't mess around and just kill a bunch of fish like you do in the U.S. It's very common in the U.S. that just a bunch of animals end up dying, because people are just 100% willing to just mess around and with the lives of some kind of critter. And, it's sad. Am I going to get up on a soapbox and freak out about it or something like that? No. But like, it's one of those things. You don't see that in Europe. I think people are willing to, most of the people in Europe take the time to kind of do a little more, reading, research, figure out what they're doing before they have a critter. Whereas in the U.S., you see a lot of people, they just buy a fish tank and take stuff home with them that day. And it's like, there's no way, yeah. Yeah, Fish Tropic says they think it's calibrated also. Yeah, it's a good thing. Dave's Aquarium says, yep, measuring things is effing useless unless you understand what you are measuring and why. Yeah. It's just really one of those things. Like if you don't have a measurement, just like having numbers that are, here's the measurement, here's rando numbers. Like there's no way to verify anything that's going on. Like you just, how much ammonia? And you're like, 5. Like 5 what? And they're like, 5. 5 what? 5, bro. Like 5 what? 5 ammonia. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? How that makes no sense? And TDS is like that. It's like 85. Like 85 what? 85. Okay, 85 what? TDS 85. Okay, 85 what's? What are you talking about? 85. The TDS is 85. 85 of what? 85 out of 100? 85 what's? You know, yeah. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Drives me nuts. But we are rolling up on the end of the show, and I'm coughing a lot and almost dying. We got 80 people watching, 77 likes. That's pretty good. Why not? Why not say that that's good? It feels like it's good. Let me close this down. Viewer activity. Ooh, that's where we keep our super chats. Fish Eye on Tactics, the Zombie Drummer, the Fish Tank Barn, Reed Hataja. Hopefully, Hataja.